Hello everybody, welcome to Curriculum Night. My name is Ms. Hetherington and this is Accelerated Algebra 1 and Geometry A. So I'm going to take you through a short slide presentation just to give you some more info about our class and some things found in the syllabus, and that's it. So let's get started. So the first slide has information about our class website. So that's always sort of where I point people to first when they have questions. You can find our class syllabus there, as well as the Alpharetta High School Common Syllabus. And you can also find the recovery form there, calendars, unit calendars. There is also extra copies of handouts. Some things are also posted in teams. I have made, in all of my class teams, I've made tabs for the class syllabus, the recovery form. The students can go there to access their assignments, and they can find their handouts in teams as well. So there's lots of places to find that information. One of the things that I use every year is the Remind app, which lets me text the whole class at once when I need to remind them of something or just share information. In past years, I haven't used it very often, but this year obviously is a little bit different. So I've used it a lot more this year than I have in the past, even already. We're only a few weeks in. So I would encourage your student, if they have not signed up for the Remind, to do so. Parents are also welcome to sign up. You're just gonna find your class down here and text that code to 81010, and then you will be signed up for our class. Our classroom expectations, these are some things listed in the syllabus. They're pretty standard. I consider myself very lucky to have the accelerated students, and generally I find that they're very well behaved, and I don't generally have too many issues, but school expectations are pretty standard, following all the school rules, participating, keeping up with their assignments. They're doing a really great job of that so far. I know that this remote stuff can be a little difficult sometimes, but they're all doing a really great job, and they're doing a great job of asking questions, asking for help when they need it. So hopefully everybody's gonna keep on track and stay on track through all of this kind of craziness. Grading. Our grading is a little different right now. Our current grading scale is basically two categories. We have summative grades, which are counting as 80% of the student's average, and then our final exam. The 80%, the summative, that is kind of major assignments, tests, quizzes, projects, that kind of thing. Anything that would be considered a smaller assignment or practice, like homework, or if we have practice quizzes or quiz reviews or test reviews or anything like that, currently is not counting as part of the student's overall average. I don't really know how that is going to change later in the semester when we sort of phase back into face-to-face instruction, but I'm sure that all of that will be communicated at some point once we figure out what's going to happen. But as of right now, that is how the students' grades are being calculated. We do still have the same grading scale as far as A's and B's and that kind of thing is concerned. If you do not have Infinite Campus, I would encourage you to take a look at that. Probably most parents have access to that or have already used that, but if you haven't, I definitely suggest just, so you can check in on grades and attendance and things like that if you need to. They have a great app that you can get on your phone. I have it for my son. He's in 3rd grade. And it's just been super helpful. You can get updates and it's just really nice. So if you don't have that, you can check that out. Extra help. So extra help right now, my official help sessions are on Tuesday mornings, but I can pretty much, try to make it work whatever time, the student needs to meet. I know that, like I said, it's a little bit hard to do a lot of stuff during this remote learning time, so I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for students to get the help that they need. Teams makes it a little bit difficult because all my classes are in separate teams, and so I can't really mix and match classes when it comes to offering help sessions. But if your student needs extra help, please have them send me an email, reach out to me through Remind or email, and we can definitely set something up at a time that is going to work for them. So we will make it work, I promise. Recovery. So recovery opportunities. Recovery along with grades is kind of working a little bit different right now because of our remote learning. So I encourage you to go take a look at that recovery form that is on our class website, also in Teams. A lot of the students have already taken advantage of doing some corrections to a quiz that we had a couple of weeks ago. So the same thing will be offered. We have a test coming up at the end of the week on the 17th and 18th, and the same thing will be extended to the test. They have opportunity to do corrections to earn some points back on those assessments. So this is kind of a detailed process. So I do encourage you to read through the form, and then if you have any questions about anything, please reach out to me. Send me an email and let me know what questions you have. Our textbook, we actually technically I guess have two textbooks for this class because we have one for the algebra portion, and then later on in the year we will get to our geometry topics and we will sort of switch over to that one. We honestly don't use the textbook very often. There is one, there are copies available on the internet through ClassLink, so students can go into their ClassLink and look for the McGraw-Hill icon. That's the publisher of the textbook. It's a little red and white icon, and they can go in there and they can get access to the textbook if they need it. But like I said, we actually don't use the textbook very often, maybe just as kind of an extra resource if students need more practice problems. But over the years, we've really kind of put together a lot of other resources and kind of made a nice presentation of our class so that we don't really access the textbook too often. But I know some students will use it just as kind of some extra practice here and there when they need it. So that is accessible online. So what we've been doing so far, we're kind of finishing up our first unit right now. We're going back through solving equations and inequalities. We're talking about intervals and interval notation, a little bit of unit rates. That's what we did yesterday. And that's going to sort of wrap up our first unit. So they have their first test coming up in a few days. What we will be doing later on, the algebra portion is basically multiple types of functions. So we're going to talk about linear functions, quadratic functions, exponential functions. We will be doing a unit on a little bit of statistics, and then at the end of this school year getting into the first bit of the geometry curriculum. So that's going to be transformations in the coordinate plane, and then talking about similarity and congruence with different figures, and then we'll do a unit on right triangle trigonometry. And that will finish out their year. We're still kind of waiting to hear about end of course tests. We're crossing our fingers that the waiver will come through from the state or from the government, wherever, that says that we maybe will get a waiver for our end of course test this year like we had last year. The students, if we do have an end of course test, they will be taking that over just the algebra portion. So we will see what happens. I think we're supposed to know maybe by the end of October what is going to happen with that. So as soon as I get any news on that, I will definitely pass that along to the students, pass that along to you all, and then we can go from there. But as of right now, we're not really sure. We thought it was going to be a waiver, and then we heard that it wasn't, and so now we're kind of in limbo. So like I said, we're all crossing our fingers that we can get that waiver again, and not have to do those EOCs this year in all of our remote learning. And so if you have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate to email me. I check, I have my email in front of me all the time, all day long, very quick to respond. So please let me know. There is a link to a form where you can ask any questions. It's on my website, so when you go to the class website, there's a little box there that says Curriculum Night, which is where this video is found, but there also is a frequently asked questions page. So I encourage you to check that out. And then also there's the link to the form. If you have any questions, you can fill that out and it will come straight to me, and I'll do my best to answer any questions that you all have. So thank you for watching my video, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks a lot.